Good morning, Blues. Just a quick video, 15-minute video chatting about the Alvarez news, because when I went to bed last night, there was some news breaking about a potential fee, and I thought I'd jump on and chat about that. I know I did a video yesterday about it, so this won't be the longest one, but I'll do it before I drop the wife off at work. I want to talk about what this Alvarez fee could potentially mean and all that kind of stuff, and if it's a fair deal, essentially. Now, please do give the video a like. It is massively appreciated. Good morning to everyone watching, of course, as well in the live chat, to Anime Fan, to Kwame, to Onome, to Ewan, Cyper, Mark. It's good to see you guys here. Oh god, I've just realised I've not cleaned my phone. I just spilled orange juice all over my phone. That is early morning parenting for you. I need to clean that. This is sticky as anything. It's horrible. Yeah, please give the video a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new here. It does help support, and it is massively appreciated. I'm enjoying everything at the moment. The vibes are really good. Doing regular videos, chatting to you guys. You may have noticed I seem reasonably fresh for once. Like, Ruben's started to sleep a bit better, which makes life a little bit easier. And I've already had a rock concert this morning with my son, be dancing around the living room to Arcade Fire and Block Party Strokes, amongst other things. So I'm up for a chat, basically. I guess there's a point I'm getting at with my Zelda t-shirt on. Look, real guys know who that guy is. Brownie points for anyone in the chat who recognises this from Zelda. Let me know if you know who he is. Anyway, good morning. Or good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So yeah, let's talk Julian Alvarez. Essentially, the fee is actually apparently quite a decent one. It comes from Cesar Luis Melo. I'll find it right now, the tweet from yesterday. Here we go. Here's the big screen. And it says, Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid is in the final stages. The club launched its last offer to Man City and is optimistic about closing the transfer for 75 million euros plus 15 in objectives. He will sign for 5 years if it closes. So that's 90 million euros, which is an awful lot of money, man. 90. I'll Google that now just to say 90 euros in pounds. There you go. That's 77. Oops. Where's it gone? There you go. That's 77 million pounds if that is true. If it obviously all comes in. 75 million euros as an upfront fee is 64, so it'd be a flat fee of 64 million with an extra 30 million in add-ons if it comes through or something like that, which is not a bad deal at all, actually. I think in this market right now, given everyone is sort of skint, and they are, let's be honest, I think the days of 100, 200 million pound transfers are sort of dead right now as the financial market collapses in itself, PSR, FFP and all those things kick in, and teams sort of penny pinch, and we've seen a lot of penny pinching around Europe these days. Not many clubs outside of the Premier League can spend big money on players, and even the Premier League Premier League sides are spending an awful lot less. So that's where we're at, basically, and that is the alleged fee for Alvarez. And the more I start to think about it, the more I'm reasonably relaxed for it. You know, we are going to win the net spend trophy this year, it looks like, which is funny. And you do wonder about the timing of that as well. With City, of course, constantly under investigation with FFP and PSR and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and all the charges and all that kind of stuff. It probably doesn't hurt City from a purely PR perspective to earn all this money. And annoyingly, it might be the fact that people open their eyes to City being very good at this in general. It's just one of those things where people act like, City don't make money or whatever, or they ignore the fact that City have always made money, good money on transfers coming in. So City are a very, very well-run club in the transfer market. And I can't wait to see people sort of try and twist this one. You know, everyone's moaning about City making money off these young players or whatever, but this one's absolutely undeniable. It's undeniable that it's a good deal for Manchester City and a fair deal for Manchester City. So 90 million euros package potentially. Obviously, it depends what those add-ons are. I would expect they'll be like, if Atletico qualify for the Champions League, there'll be 2 million or something like that. If he scores more than 20 goals, there'll be 2 million. It'll be based around Atletico performances and Alvarez performances, and probably if he starts more than 30 games in a season. It'll be that kind of thing where it's based around, goal targets, appearance targets, and all this kind of stuff, or individual deals. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one where it's like $1 million or $2 million if you finish his top goal scorer in La Liga, which he's very capable of for what it's worth. So it'll be that kind of thing. I don't know what it'll be, but I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see that kind of structure. And we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. But I'm pretty relaxed with this. I tweeted yesterday that you cannot moan about academy players not being used and also want superstars to replace every single outgoing player. And I really do think now we're in a position where we can replace Alvarez minutes. It will take a very different approach. I'm not an idiot. I get that. But I think we can do that with young players. And I mentioned this because Paul just reminded me in the chat as well. You're right, mate. You can't have both, really. You can't have your cake and eat it. And I understand that some people want either or. I get that. And some people don't want the young players involved. I get that. But the point is, there are two approaches, and they're two very valid approaches. And I know it sounds lazy, but I always default back to the view of, well, if we're not going to sign a replacement, it's because Guardiola feels that he can crack on and work with the squad he's got. Guardiola is no man's fool. Guardiola is not the guy who'll go quietly into the night and just bow down and, say nothing if he feels like he's been hard done by. We forget that. Guardiola is the fucking man at Manchester City. He's the absolute boss. No one tells Guardiola what he can and can't do. They'll talk to him, they'll advise to him, but they try to keep Guardiola happy because he's the best manager in the world. They'll try and keep him at the club. So essentially, any decisions that are made are done collaboratively. They'll talk to him and outline the options and the fee, and then Guardiola will go, nah, not worth it, or whatever, or I'll crack on this way, or push forward on that. And that's pretty much always how it happens. So we forget that. And I would not be surprised whatsoever if City don't bring anyone in. It's because Guardiola says, I'll use him there, I'll use that there, do this, that'll be fine, and I'll do that instead. Trust me, I've got this. Because that's how it works, man. Guardiola has the trust. Guardiola trusts even the likes of, Oscar Bob, Kevin De Bruyne, McAtee, Phil Foden, Bernardo, all these other players, his wingers and whatever. And as Paul said in the chat as well, it's another good point. They wouldn't force a sale against him while trying to get him to extend. Look, it makes no sense if you want Guardiola to extend his deal to put him in a situation that he doesn't want. Guardiola will always let players go, but he'll also expect the support of the board if he needs it, Anthony with the super chat. Thank you so much, Anthony. It's massively appreciated. Here's your super chat question, by the way, if anyone wants to get involved in the super chats. Who would your ideal replacement be? Put it in a super chat and we'll have a discussion about that. Who's the next player we're going to buy? Anthony, I don't know. But someone just said, Pep the Goat just said in the chat as well, hijack the Olmo deal. There might be something in that, Do not be surprised if Manchester City look at the floundering Olmo Barcelona deal and go fully in and just go for it. Because that is very hard for, very hard for Barcelona to complete. And the longer it drags on, do not be surprised by Man City's temptation to go in for that. I would not be surprised whatsoever, It could definitely happen. I don't think it's going to be Joao Felix. I just don't see that. I don't think City want him. I don't think they see the consistency or the full potential there. And I would agree on that, It's one of those things where, I think he's a really good player, but the ship has sort of sailed for him right now. I think you'd have to have an elite season somewhere else for City to go into him. And I just don't think we need him desperately. We've got different other options. And look, be honest, Joao Felix is brilliant. I'd honestly really rather Oscar Bob play. And I'm not saying Oscar Bob is Joao Felix's level yet or anything like that, but I genuinely would prefer that because I feel like it's more beneficial to Manchester City. And Joao Felix would take an awful long time to get up to speed. He would need game time. Joao Felix would need to play most weeks to get up to his best form again. He's not going to get that. He's not going to get that with Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden, people like that. He's a really quality player, Joao Felix. He is. I still believe in his potential, but it's still potential. It still is. Eze, people mentioned Eze in the chat. Kudos. I don't see it. Could happen, but I just don't see it. Yeah, and CCO, I feel like hasn't the CCO hype sort of died down a little bit? Should have kept it Delap, maybe, but at the same time, Delap's at the point of his career now where he just needs to move on and play football because he hasn't really shown currently in the past year or two on loans that he's Manchester City He's Manchester City quality. And as much as I really like Delap, I think he's going to be a good player in time. I think the only thing that will make Liam Delap an elite player now is years of football, playing week in, week out, and hopefully a little bit of luck. And that's where we're at with Liam Delap. But ultimately, it does feel like this is going to happen, doesn't it? He's going to be an Atletico Madrid player. Everything's trending towards it. I feel Atletico have stepped up their aggression in this transfer. They're going to push forward, and they're going to get this done. I'm almost certain, and I'm relaxed about it. I can't pretend I'm emotional. The only issue I have is if we have the squad make up for a potential false 9 season if anything happened to Haaland. I don't know. Definitely not Ivan Toney. Why do people keep mentioning Ivan Toney? Like, do we really want to sign someone with all the controversy around him? Like, and also, Ivan Toney is absolutely not a bench player. He has not got the patience. He's an egotistical man, Ivan Toney. Like, if anyone's paid any attention to Ivan Toney, he is not a humble guy. Like, he's got a bit of an ego on him. He's literally just got over a betting suspension. Like, City wouldn't touch him with a barge pole because he's not going to sit on the bench behind Erling Haaland. No chance. No. People keep mentioning Ivan Toney. Like, you've got to like really think about what a player would bring. No. Ishan Ghosh with a very good point as well about Felix. Felix also gets 20 million a year. Makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, that's an awful lot of money. Obviously, you'd expect maybe a slightly different wage if City was to come in for him, but that's an awful lot of money. I just don't think City will be willing to splash that right now. No, I absolutely agree, my friend. I just don't see it. Look, to be honest, it'd be done already, and we'd know about it. If City were interested in Joao Felix, given Atletico is interested in McAtee, it'd be such an easy deal to complete. The fact that we've not heard anything about it suggests to me that it's not going to happen. Samir, thank you so much, my friend. I massively appreciate it. Look, essentially, Samir, thank you so much. Essentially, I don't feel we're going to be looking at any senior player. It'd be a young player. I do wonder if Manchester City already feel if they have that player potentially somewhere, like someone like Echeverry coming in as a false 9, or someone who can play as this quasi 10 striker kind of thing. And I do think City are very willing to play the long game. We react in the here and now. We always do, and we always sort of panic when we've got a hole in our squad. But Manchester City, they'll crack on, and it may take 2 years to replace Kompany, but they'll sign Ruben Diaz and then win 4 leagues in a row. It may take 2 seasons to replace Aguero, but they'll wait and then get Erling Haaland, who will smash all goal scoring records in this country. It's just how Manchester City operate. We don't like it because it's not immediate, but City are very patient and will wait for January, if needs be. And then they'll bring in Echeverry and decide if he's good enough or not, or let him carry on loan. But they won't force it. They would rather just go ahead with what they know. And there's an element of truth in that as well. Like, it's always sometimes better the devil you know, because, look, we presume that they haven't thought about this. Like, I guarantee you, Guardiola has considered false 9 options. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? 4 leagues in a row. It's mad. But I guarantee you Guardiola's considered all options. And I don't know if it'll be Echeverry, probably not. Don't know if it'll be Bob, who knows? Foden, whatever, who knows? But he will have a solution in his head. Otherwise, we would be desperately looking for a player. And if we start to see rumours pick up about a player after we sell Alvarez, it's because City probably want a solution. If we don't, it's just Guardiola's got an idea. And we can moan, but we can also trust the smartest mind in world football, one of the smartest minds to ever exist, in Guardiola. And that sort of is where I'm at right now anyway. So, yeah, and just a very quick video this morning, guys, chatting about it. I have to go now because I've got to go and help the wife get to work in the car. I need the car this morning. So I've got to go and get ready because I've got to leave in 5 minutes. But for now, though, do let me know in the comments what you guys reckon. Like, how will City set up, if he goes? And it won't be someone like Benjamin Sesko. It won't be anyone who wants to be a first-team striker. If we were to sign anyone, in my opinion, it would be an Alvarez type, an Echeverri type, a Gabriel Jesus when he signed type, a guy who's willing to come in and be the young lad. And the reason the young lad works is because they're not expecting to be the number one. Like, so many people would look around at Alvarez's career at Manchester City and be desperate for it, whereas Alvarez right now has gone past that, like so many strikers do, because they want to be the number one guy. We had it with Aguero when we had all these great strikers who were behind him, and we've got it now with Haaland as well. This is why young players with hunger and patience are the ones, that's what I reckon it will be. So it won't be an Ivan Toney. It won't be a Benjamin Sesko who will want to play every single week. It won't be anyone like that, in my opinion. And it'll be something out of the box that we've not thought of, almost certainly, if it happens. Guys, love you all loads. I'll probably catch you later for another video, because Alvarez, it's probably going to happen. I don't know if he'll be confirmed today because he's got to go and get his medical, fly over, blah, 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 etc. But it's interesting. In a bit, love you all loads.